basketball has really consumed my life for a year. So I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. Like, I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast. I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back.
There's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it.
Caitlin Clark has announced that she will be taking a break from basketball until April. Meanwhile, Alyssa Thomas has spoken out about the slurs she has received from Caitlin Clark fans. Ryan Ruocco also confirmed that Caitlin Clark will not play off-season basketball, meaning it will be over 200 days before fans see her back on the court.
Allow me to publicly thank the Indiana Fever for putting up such a great fight tonight and for battling back again and again and again all season long. Let me thank Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell and all the rest for refusing to say die, refusing to lose, fighting back again and again and again, and playing at a much higher level than they should be at this stage and age. Was I ever entertained?
Caitlin Clark was also tackled to the ground in her last game, and unsurprisingly, no foul was called. Can someone explain how that wasn't a foul? Oh wait, I already know. It's because it happened to Caitlin Clark.
A lot of things that this group accomplished that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible, one, to start the season, and two, after the start we had to the season. So, yeah, it'll definitely be probably a little weird for me over the course of the first couple weeks, and then I'm sure I'll get bored and pick up a basketball again. So,
Alyssa Thomas wasn't happy after the game. Even though she played a key role in her team's success, she was upset with how fans treated her throughout the game, specifically calling out Fever fans. However, when she was tackled by Angel Reese some time ago, she had nothing to say. But when it involves Caitlin, it suddenly becomes a different story.
We don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And, we come to play basketball for our job and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done, whether it's, them checking their fans or this league checking. There's no time for it anymore.
Is Caitlin Clark's decision to rest after her breakout WNBA season a turning point in her career? And what does it mean for the future of women's basketball? As Clark steps away from the court for the next 200-plus days, fans and analysts alike are questioning how her absence will impact not only the Indiana Fever, but the WNBA as a whole. By choosing rest over playing overseas or competing in 3v3 basketball, Clark is signaling a shift in how she's approaching her career, one that prioritizes longevity and health over constant visibility. So what does this mean for the league's future viewership and the broader momentum of women's sports? Caitlin Clark has earned a well-deserved break. While her decision surprised some, it's completely understandable given the immense workload she carried this season. In fact, Clark essentially played the equivalent of a full NBA season, 81 games over 324 days, logging 2,850 minutes on the floor. Her choice to step back may not just define the next phase of her career. It could also reshape how elite players manage their careers in the WNBA moving forward.
Clark now has 761 points, breaking the record once held by Simone Augustus. However, there is a caveat. Augustus set the mark back in 2006 when the WNBA regular season was just 34 games. Clark broke the record in 39 games.
Let's start with Caitlin Clark's final game of the season. This wasn't just another regular season matchup. It was a playoff game, a moment when everything was on the line and the pressure was at its peak. Going up against a tough Connecticut Sun team, the odds were stacked against the Indiana Fever still. Clark rose to the occasion in classic fashion, delivering a performance that reminded everyone why she's become one of the most talked-about players in basketball. She finished the game with an impressive 25 points and 9 assists, but anyone watching closely could tell that her impact went far beyond the stat sheet time and again. Clark created open looks for her teammates, threading perfect passes and setting them up for easy scoring opportunities, only to see missed layups and shots that just wouldn't fall. This wasn't simply bad luck. It was a clear showcase of her elite playmaking ability. She was controlling the offense, finding teammates in the right spots, and making the game easier for everyone around her. Unfortunately, the finishing just wasn't there when it mattered most.
How I would grade myself. I'm a tough grader. I feel like I had a solid year, but for me, the fun part is like I feel like I'm just scratching the surface, and I'm one that's nitpicking every single thing I do, and I know I want to, help this franchise get even better, help my teammates get even better, be better for my teammates, and I know there's a lot of room for me to continue to improve. So that's what excites me the most. I feel like I can continue to get a lot better, and before we know it, I'm sure we'll all be back here. And
the pressure in that game didn't rest solely on Caitlin Clark's shoulders. The Fever, a team that had struggled at times throughout the season, were facing a well-rounded, playoff-tested Connecticut Sun squad. Despite the challenge, Clark never backed down. From the opening tip, she played aggressively, attacking the basket, taking her shots with confidence, and doing everything possible to give her team the best chance to win.
We got a lot of players, a lot of these wonderful ladies who bust their tail to make the WNBA what it was. Here's the reality. It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snuff, and you had somebody as popular as Cheryl Swoops, who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line is, very few people gave a damn.
Caitlin Clark's final game may have ended in disappointment, but her season as a whole was nothing short of phenomenal. This was the year she firmly established herself as one of the most exciting and talented players in the WNBA. From her scoring ability to her elite playmaking, Clark was the heart and soul of the Indiana Fever, though it's important to fully appreciate just how impressive her season was, especially given the level of competition in the WNBA. Every team in the league knew she was a player to stop. Defenses were built specifically to slow her down, and opposing coaches constantly adjusted their game plans to limit her impact. Yet night after night, Caitlin continued to find ways to perform at an elite level, delivering regardless of the attention and pressure she faced.
Well, that was a lot of fun, watching Caitlin Clark's rookie season, which is now over. The Indiana Fever knocked out of the postseason by the Connecticut Sun in a 2-game sweep. And so we got to see the carryover from Iowa transition to the pro game, her ability to help develop a team's cohesion and chemistry. And we saw that work so well as the season went on. Clearly brought, like a magnet, phenomenal attention to the league, bringing new fans, a committed fan base, not just in her home arena, but bringing fans to away arenas and packing the houses and increasing different venues from smaller to larger because of their presence. It's been fun.
Caitlin Clark's ability to score from deep range is perhaps her most recognizable trait. She has an uncanny knack for hitting three-pointers well beyond the arc, and she does it with remarkable efficiency. That shooting range forces defenders to pick her up early and play her tight, which in turn opens up driving lanes she can exploit with her speed and ball handling skills. But Clark isn't just a scorer. She's also one of the best playmakers in the league. She consistently creates opportunities for her teammates, racking up assists and keeping the offense flowing. In fact, her playmaking is a major reason she stands out from other elite scorers. While many players focus solely on putting points on the board, Caitlin has a rare ability to read the floor and deliver the right pass at the right time. Her 9 assists in her final game were a perfect example, and as mentioned earlier, she easily could have had more if her teammates had converted their chances. Beyond the statistics, what truly set Caitlin apart this season was her leadership, especially as a young player. She embraced a major role for the Indiana Fever, becoming the teammate everyone looked to in the biggest moments. Whether it was knocking down a clutch shot late in the game or stepping up with a key defensive play, Caitlin was there when her team needed her most. That leadership, combined with her on-court talent, made her one of the most impactful and important players in the WNBA this year.
I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her, and I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that.
After such an intense and demanding season, it's no surprise that Caitlin decided to step away and take time to rest. Many WNBA players choose to compete overseas during the off-season, both to stay in game shape and to supplement their income. However, Caitlin made a deliberate choice to skip overseas play and prioritize recovery instead. For her, the decision was straightforward. She needed a break. The WNBA season can be incredibly grueling, especially for players who carry as much responsibility as she does. While playing overseas can be tempting, it often means continuing the same high-intensity schedule with little opportunity for physical or mental recovery. After everything she endured this season, Caitlin recognized that the toll had been significant and that rest, not more games, was the best option moving forward.
So will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now immediately? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay. Not on the.
In addition to skipping overseas play, Caitlin also chose not to participate in 3v3 basketball, a format that has been growing in popularity. The fast-paced nature of 3v3 demands constant intensity on both ends of the floor, and while it could have been a fun way to stay active, Caitlin recognized that her body needed more than just a break from full-court basketball. She needed complete rest, time to fully recover and return stronger next season. For someone so young, this is a remarkably mature decision. Many players feel pressure to keep playing, whether to maintain peak conditioning or secure their standing in the league. Caitlin, however, understands that investing in her long-term health now will pay off later. Be why choosing rest. She's giving herself the chance to heal both physically and mentally, ensuring that she'll be ready to perform at her best when the next WNBA season begins.
Third or fourth in betting odds on being MVP of the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name.
Throughout the season, one of Caitlin Clark's recurring frustrations was a lack of calls she received from referees. Whether she was driving to the basket and absorbing contact or getting bumped on the perimeter, she often found herself on the wrong end of no calls. That made the situation even more frustrating, because as one of the league's top players, Caitlin expected to be officiated with the same level of respect and consistency afforded to her peers.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So I don't know, it reminded me of the technical that I got in college where I said, damn it, where it's like a personal frustration. Had nothing to do with my team, had nothing to do with their reffing, had nothing to do with other team. It was just because I'm a competitor and I felt like I should have been making more shots. So, but I think he fired me up to continue to play a lot harder. I thought we got a lot better after he did that. So I want to thank him for that.
That issue surfaced once again in Caitlin Clark's final game against the Connecticut Sun time after time. She attacked the basket, absorbed heavy contact, and still heard no whistle from the referees. It was a familiar pattern that followed her throughout the season, one that didn't go unnoticed by fans, coaches, or analysts. The lack of calls is especially puzzling given Caitlin's status as one of the league's rising stars. In both the NBA and WNBA, elite players often receive the benefit of the doubt when attacking aggressively. Stars like LeBron James or A'ja Wilson are accustomed to getting favorable calls in those situations. Yet for Caitlin, the whistle often stayed silent even when the contact appeared obvious. That inconsistency has raised broader questions about officiating standards and consistency within the WNBA. Beyond the on-court challenges, Caitlin also dealt with an off-court incident during her final game. A fan in the stands spent much of the night heckling her, attempting to distract and provoke a reaction. For most of the game, Caitlin remained focused, ignoring the taunts and keeping her attention on the action. But as the behavior continued, she eventually reached her limit. In a moment reminiscent of NBA superstar LeBron James, Caitlin pointed out the fan to arena staff, who promptly removed the individual from the building. It was a rare display of visible frustration from a player known for her poise and composure under pressure, and a reminder that even the best competitors have their limits. With Caitlin Clark now out of the playoffs, the WNBA postseason landscape has shifted. One player who may feel a sense of relief is fellow star Angel Reese, a competitor closely linked to Caitlin throughout the season. The two develop a high-profile rivalry, and with Caitlin sidelined, one of the biggest obstacles to a championship run has been removed. While Angel has never publicly expressed joy over Caitlin's exit, it's clear her absence alters the postseason dynamics. Without Clark, the Indiana Fever are no longer a playoff threat, and the focus now shifts to the remaining stars. A'ja Wilson, in particular, stands out as the last major superstar still competing for a title. Caitlin Clark's exit doesn't just impact the Fever or the playoff race, it affects the league as a whole. Her breakout season brought a level of attention, energy, and excitement to the WNBA that few players in league history have generated, and her absence leaves a noticeable void in the postseason spotlight.
Many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Fans tuned in specifically to watch Caitlin Clark, and her highlight reel performances quickly became must-see TV. Now, with Caitlin on the sidelines, the WNBA faces a significant challenge, maintaining viewership and fan interest without one of its biggest draws. The league has worked tirelessly in recent years to grow its fan base, making major strides in marketing, broadcasting, and overall accessibility. That progress has been real, but players like Caitlin are crucial to sustaining that momentum. Without her on the court, the WNBA temporarily loses one of its most marketable and electrifying stars, a shift that could lead to a noticeable dip in viewership and attendance.
Obviously, people don't understand, like, if they think it's personal, but when I get between the lines, if friends or anything, if my teammate right here went to play for another team, I'm going to be competitive, I'm going to talk trash to her just because I'm super competitive and that's what we do. But off the court, we're going to kick it and have fun. So I think that's a part of the game, and just trying to normalize, like, trash talking is okay, but not taking it personal off the court. And obviously that has become a thing, and people are just trying to make it seem like it's something. But I love Caitlin, and I love her game, and I admire everything she's done.
Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA goes far beyond her on-court performances. She's become a cultural force, someone who brought new fans to the league and reignited a level of excitement that hadn't been seen in years. With her now out of the playoffs, there's a sense of loss not just for the Indiana Fever, but for the WNBA as a whole. Caitlin brought something special to the league, an energy and excitement that resonated deeply with fans. Her absence will be felt, and there's no question the WNBA will miss her presence on the court. But if there's one thing we know about Caitlin Clark, it's that she'll come back stronger than ever. She's already proven she has the talent, drive, and work ethic to be among the best players in the world, and this break will give her the opportunity to recharge and refocus. When she returns next season, the WNBA will once again be electrified by her play, and fans will be eagerly awaiting her comeback. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. More content is on the screen now.